All right, guys, Spencer G here, Slaughterhouse Sports. Wild news that broke about 6 hours ago. So all in one day, November, we're going to go, because this video is getting recorded early in the morning on November 22nd. Earlier on November 21st, Julian Lewis committed to Colorado. He went from USC to Colorado. You thought that would be the biggest news of the day in the recruiting world in college football. But then an earth-shattering move is Bryce Underwood ends up committing to the University of Michigan and decommits from LSU. Bryce Underwood is a 6'3" quarterback. He's been the number one player in the 2025 recruiting class for about 2 or 3 years. He's considered one of the highest rated quarterbacks that has ever come out of high school. This player is considered to be a program-changing player, a Heisman caliber player, and an elite quarterback. So let's just talk about it from multiple perspectives. Let's hit the Michigan perspective. Sheronne Moore, replacing Jim Harbaugh, no prior head coaching experience, but has been a very good coordinator. Again, good offensive line coach, excellent communicator, very likable, person, and very good coordinator. So he deserves the job. He was really the guy that helped Harbaugh, and then Harbaugh got suspended. He beat Penn State, beat Ohio State. So it's natural that he'll get elevated to that role. Disappointing year. And even with Wink Martindale, I don't know what's going on with Michigan. Terrible offense. Even their coordinator, I'm not even sure who's going to even be their offensive coordinator. So then they go out there, and this pretty much almost saves Sheronne Moore, because if you don't have Underwood next year, you're probably rolling with a quarterback that is not very good, same offensive coordinator problems. It could be a two-and-done sort of thing with Sheronne Moore, like, hey, you were part of Harbaugh's staff, but clearly, Jim Harbaugh and Jesse Minter are gone, and it could be a short-lived stint for Sheronne Moore, but now this gives like a lifeline and a boost to Sheronne Moore. Also, why did this happen? All right, well, it's the hometown kid, but he was committed to LSU. He wanted to play SEC ball. Let's put 2 and 2 together, and it's not like this is a revolutionary hot take. This is probably what 97% of people are thinking. Why would he go to Michigan? Well, it is a hometown team, right? LSU is struggling the last couple of games, but it isn't that. It's money. It's money, and it's NIL. And listen, I don't really blame Bryce Underwood, and I'm not really going to. It's his personal decision. So could I criticize an opinion of a person, making a decision on a school? Yeah, maybe. But again, you're getting, supposedly life-changing cash. And it looks like Dave Portnoy, I got to give him a massive ton of credit from Barstool Sports. He's been very successful. He's built Barstool up from the ground up. And now the guy is incredibly successful. And he's going out and helping his alma mater, Michigan, that he cares deeply about. He's putting his money where his mouth is. And you know what he's doing is that he's helped funding Michigan football. And if you're ever successful in any rank of life, this is even a dream of mine. Hey, if this show even goes off, I would like to, help, some NIL programs. Sure. And that's what Dave Portnoy, so I think he was instrumental in this process. And think it's very cool. Fans and fans that care, it rewards fans who care. And fans who care, spend money, they care about the program, buy tickets, and whoever wanted Underwood the most ended up getting him in this case. You look at LSU, and they might have had a very good setup with Jalen Daniels and Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow. They've had some quarterback success. You have Kyron Lacey. You have some really good wide receivers there, at LSU. But Brian Kelly the last couple of years. So he started out great, a little bit of a victim of his own success. Beat Alabama. The show got rolling. Then he had Mike Denbrock and Jaden Daniels. Both of them depart after a 9-3 year. Matt House didn't work as a defensive coordinator. He brings in Baker. really, and I am a big fan of the defensive coordinator there, Baker. I still am, from Missouri, even though he's having a rough season again, or a rough second half of the year. I still think that the staff there, Bo Davis and the cornerbacks coach there, Cortez Hampton, I just think that it's a Blake Baker. I just think that it's a really good staff. I think that it's right on defense. On offense, Joe Sloan is a little bit green as a play caller. And I think that Kelly needs more of a veteran. I think it actually worked with Denbrock. And I look at Sloan, and then you look at that offensive line group with Will Campbell and some of the people inside, and they haven't found a way to play complementary with Nussmeier. They're putting him in bad positions, where he's going to have to throw the ball 48 times a game. So for LSU now, without getting Bryce Underwood, it's a huge blow to Kelly. But now it's going to be interesting to see how the money is reallocated from not getting Bryce Underwood. But from a football standpoint, it really doesn't make sense to go to Michigan because LSU has better wide receivers. They just have had 2 Heisman quarterbacks. LSU has better talent. I know Harbaugh was really great, but for a quarterback, they've been much more consistent. And Michigan has huge question marks at offensive coordinator, and even J.J. McCarthy, they've never really had a quarterback at Michigan since Chad Henne that really threw the ever-living you-know-what out of the ball. You'd have to go back to Braylon Edwards in that time, a little bit of Nico Collins, but J.J. McCarthy did it a little bit to Roman Wilson, but it's a run-heavy offense. And Michigan has never had that consistent elite quarterback in a very, very long time. And again, he was committed to LSU. LSU had a very good NIL package. And football-wise, maybe people can say he looked at the offensive coordinator and didn't like what he was doing with Nussmeier. But really, Underwood might have really wanted to go to Michigan all along, and then LSU was there to, again, rise the price. Because it's just like almost anything in life, you want to be in demand. You could look back to any analogy. No girl is honestly going to choose the guy at the bar that they could probably, see themselves with. You're always kind of, advised to make yourself seem unavailable in certain circumstances, okay? And that is, the leverage is key, right? For a job interview, right? For a job interview. Do you want to hire somebody that has no possible job opportunities, or do you want to hire the person that, they already got 2 jobs lined up, and it's a competition, it's on, it's an arms race, let's go. And Bryce Underwood, again, he's the number 1 quarterback in the country. So I guess the bargaining chip would always be there. But having LSU there and having him battle it out, again, that's smart business operation here, okay, from Underwood and from Underwood and his team and his staff, okay? So, and again, it's hometown kid. It's very good news for the Big Ten. And it's good news for boosters. It's good news for fans because guess what? If you get your NIL together, even average fans that might not have the money of Portnoy, you get say you're a fan of, let's just say, Baylor, or let's say you're a fan of TCU. All right, we might not have the means of some of these top-end boosters, but we can get massive numbers and pour into NIL. All right, and then we can get some talent. And that's what is kind of a fun part, is that the fans can kind of get involved in NIL. And that's where we're at with college football. And these guys are, again, making life-changing money. And for Bryce Underwood, this is a physical game of football. And I pray for Bryce Underwood to be healthy and to have a really great career. But again, you play a physical game where you have guys that are coming after you and hitting you. So you don't know about the health and longevity of the game of football. So when you're at your peak of power, or you're an unbelievable high school recruit, hopefully it's not peak of power. Hopefully he goes on to have a lengthy career, all right? But again, you could strike while the iron's hot and get paid. and make a lot of money and hopefully save it and be, financially successful. And that's what a lot of players, okay, that are the top end high school talent, that's what they're all going to do. So for LSU and Kelly, it's not good. But now if you're LSU and Kelly, the defense needs to improve. There's so many other spots that do you want to just have Bryce Underwood and not allocate to other resources? So now you got to pivot. And I don't believe that a program should just all be about one player. I don't. I believe that you got to build a whole team. And that's where I'm excited to see how LSU is going to pivot now. We're going to see the worth of Brian Kelly now. All right, because now the plan A is no longer there with Underwood. How is LSU going to adjust to this? And this is huge. The fan base is involved with Underwood. The second half portion of the season, as many have pointed out, has come with the caveat, hey, look towards the future. Bryce Underwood's going to be one of the best players in the country. But now, now it's going to get interesting. All that money of Underwood that was set to go to Underwood is now freed up. Where is LSU going to now go recruit a quarterback? And I'm sure that they're nervous in Auburn right now. I'm sure that Deuce Knight, that commitment, I'm sure that they're nervous. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the Southeast. Looking around the landscape of the best quarterbacks, the Mississippi State quarterback's really good. The Maryland quarterback is highly acclaimed and has talent. We can go down the list, guys, of quarterbacks, right? So where's LSU going to go there? Ricky Collins, again, had skill. Baton Rouge guy. Again, was on the roster, though, but you haven't heard that much buzz about Ricky Collins. So you got Nussmeier. Nussmeier, I think, could be similar to Graham Mertz, maybe even a little bit better. Has a bigger arm, but again, if he's going to be an NFL pick, it'll be a year from now. I think he's coming back, and I think even with Underwood, he would have came back. All right, and what's going to happen now with wide receiver? And Kelly, I think, needs to win. So it's going to be interesting. Are they going to roll with Nussmeier? Are they going to have the difficult conversation? Is Quinn Ewers going to be out there on the market? So this was just fascinating because LSU can still be good, but if Michigan missed on Underwood, Michigan just wouldn't be exciting. Michigan would have almost nothing. LSU could still find ways because LSU is more resourced. They have more talent. Kelly is a more established coach than Sheronne Moore. All right. This adds a layer now to LSU that is exciting, and it adds a layer to Michigan offensive football that from a neutral perspective is kind of interesting. And also that Dave Portnoy pulled this off, it's a new era kind of the NIL, is that he really went out there and did the thing. So credit to Dave Portnoy and cares about his team, right? Some of the Barstool shows, cover college football, do a really nice job, and it's just interesting to see what ended up transpiring out here with Bryce Underwood. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments here. What a great day for the Michigan Wolverines.